Now the debate over cruise ships anchored off Australia's coast. At issue, their foreign crews and the ongoing threat of more coronavirus cases. As Simon Boda reports, it's become a standoff.
There is nowhere else to go. Everywhere is treating these ships the same way.
It's the cruise ship standoff that could become an international crisis.
I think it already is. I mean, it's an international industry. Cruise ships are afloat 7 days a week, 365 days a year, transporting people on holidays somewhere in the world.
8 cruise ships in New South Wales waters refusing to leave, the impasse into its 3rd week.
The issue for these cruise ships, of course, is that we have very large numbers of people concentrated together on these floating platforms, and there really isn't anywhere for them to go.
8,500 people are on board, all crew, their futures uncertain.
There are no passengers, they are all crew. All the Australians who have identified to us have been brought back.
The cruise ships are refusing to leave, fearing they have COVID-19 victims on board.
If you're moving further away from help, then if people do get sick and critically sick, then what are your options?
Letting them ashore, though, could be disastrous, according to the man overseeing the COVID-19 fallout, New South Wales Police Commissioner Mick Fuller.
8,500 people in New South Wales. If a small percentage end up with the virus, that would overwhelm our health system, and everything we have done to date would be wasted.
The Ruby Princess debacle 2 weeks ago is evidence of the danger of letting the ships offload here.
It was a disaster in the making. It really was horrific.
Jeanette Dixon-Hughes was one of 2,700 passengers who left the cruise ship unchecked. Today marks the end of her self-isolation.
It wasn't easy. I mean, I'm very glad that we didn't end up in a hotel room. I'm very glad that they actually did let us off the ship and we escaped to our own homes. It's felt like a lucky escape.
So far, over 300 Ruby Princess passengers have tested positive for COVID-19. 7 have died. The ships off the New South Wales coast are the Ruby Princess, Pacific Explorer, Carnival Splendour, the Ovation of the Seas, Spectrum of the Seas, Radiance of the Seas, Celebrity Solstice and Voyager of the Seas. Pacific Explorer was ordered out of Sydney Harbour today.
There is no illness on Pacific Explorer. No passenger or crew member has at any point tested positive for COVID-19.
Carnival Australia President Ster Mermel.
It is unprecedented for Australia's homegrown cruise line to be ordered to leave Australia.
I mean, if I'm the master of a cruise ship and I'm being told by a government, whichever government it is, whether it's here or overseas, to go further away from help, then I think I've got a duty of care to my people.
Maritime lawyer John Kavanagh says lives could be lost if the ships are forced to leave our waters.
If I have thousands of people on board and some of them are already sick and I expect more of them to get sick, I'm not going to go further away from help, no matter what people say.
Medicos are being ferried to the troubled liners to test those on board.
Border Force has engaged them as an independent to go on and really come back and give me a picture, an independent picture in terms of what's happening on the ships.
14 were taken off the ships for testing in recent days. More are expected.
Anyone who requires medical assistance has been taken off the ship.
And a current affair poll asked the question, should the crews on the cruise ships be released onto Australian shores? At the time of going to air, we'd received more than 40,000 votes. 93% said no. If push comes to shove, though, authorities are prepared to act.
If the crew is fit and healthy, then I have no hesitation in asking Minister Dutton or Border Force to enforce the orders to make them to leave our shores.
John Kavanagh maintains it presents a terrible dilemma.
If I'm the master of a vessel and I can stay within a couple of days steaming assistance or a relatively short helicopter ride, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. And frankly, if that means I go to jail because I've contravened some order, then I think certainly my conscience, if I was in that position, that I would be taking that risk.